Hello everyone, Kenty Tiger here with Bengali Engineering and Play. We are back in Space Engineers. We're kind of continuing on with this subset of Survival Series 2. We are continuing our work, if I can get the sun out of our eyes here, continuing on our work with the multitask fighter. So we are pretty much, I think, done with the front portion, which is our main armaments here, and then working my way back. And I'm really trying to figure out exactly what I want to do here. So I'm toying with, do I really want these big do I really want the big hydrogen thrusters here, or are we going to go with something a little less subtle? Nothing subtle about the huge thrusters there. So then it's the matter of kind of figuring out what we need to do here and how we need to connect anything in. So we have underneath and over, and I'm trying to think of, you know, what should we do here. If I kind of let me go up here and get the centerline model here. So what I was thinking is actually putting two Gatling guns in here, and then two more on the other side, and so that would be the basically over the overwing type weapons, which would augment this here. They're over and above everything, so nothing in the front would be in the way, which would also be kind of nice. So it's kind of trying to decide what all I should do here. The other part of the equation is where do we put those? Turn off the jetpack. So anyway, I think I think we're gonna go ahead and put those in just because. And let me go ahead and select those guys up. That's these, and put them right there. You know, the only other thing we could do is more of the Mark I batteries. Those are clearly a very large scale weapon. We don't have any more weapons to choose from. The only thing we could possibly do is the reloadable rocket launcher, and the problem with those is there's no place to put them. So these would actually end up right there, so they're back a little bit, which I think is good. So let me go ahead and remove these. We're going to change colors back to the black here, and we're going to, so the choice is either to put those back one or put them back to here, and I think right there is good. And the question is, do we want two of them, or do we put three? And I think two is plenty. We've got this one up here, which can be used for missile defense, and then those two there. So I think we'll leave those there. And then we'll go back to figuring out how are we going to cover these guys. Change. need to be black though. Carry my tiger stripey line. The question is, do I do anything about this, or do I change this into a slope? Like this. Or do I put that slope out here? And if we do that, then this block has to change. So I think we'll go ahead and keep the lines as they are. Yep, I think we'll do that. All right, so back to black. So one of the things I did want to put in here, I guess I need to get rid of this, were the jump drives, and somehow this didn't work out quite right. Okay, so we did the battery thing here, and then I changed and actually pulled them off, and I think we'll go ahead and put one set back on. So I got this interconnector back there, which is really what I wanted. So we'll put those in. So we should be back up to 4 batteries, huh? All right, so we have a little space here. Let me go back out to 8. We'll pull up 3. So this is the mini jump drive. Now, the mini jump drive is overpowered. And what I think I want to do is actually put these guys in here. And the reason to put them in here is because there's a lot of stuff around it. So the advantage, of course, of having so much stuff in and around everything, or do we put them way up in here? So the choices are way in here, and I think I actually like this better. So there is port and starboard with 2 each. So in this case, the Gatling gun, the turret is center. So this one is actually port inside, and this one is the, oops, this is actually the starboard inside. And if I'm really using correct terminology, port inboard, starboard inboard, and then this is port outboard. And port outboard. So this is being a little more correct to Gatling guns. Okay, off. Inventory is on, and those are off. Whoops, off. So we did put a bunch more thrusters on here. So let's go ahead and get those put up. So these are actually thrusters. Midships. So port here, and then starboard. So we're going to leave these on the toolbar because when you try and configure your cockpit toolbar, not having these on there would be a pain in the butt. Not sure what happened to the other battery. Oh, actually I do know what happened to the other battery. So 7 and 8 are the last two that I put on here. So just understanding what these are, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the HUD, and then I can see, so 5 and 6 are the centerline batteries, and then 7 and 8, yeah, 7 and 8 are port and starboard respectively. So let me go ahead and name these guys here. I think 4 batteries is enough. I tend to like having more batteries, but there's the challenge of space in this case, and we may actually lay another couple of them out. So this is if I can spell, so this is centerline 01, and then this one is I still can't spell, centerline 02, and then 7 is the port side. And the reason why I'm calling these port and starboard is, or port 01 and starboard 01 is because there will actually probably be an outboard battery as well. Alright, so these are batteries. Save, toolbar, and terminal. We have a lot of program blocks there. We have shield generators, which can get taken care of here. Shields. So we have 2 spares. So this is systems. Call this computers and display. We're going to go ahead and take that off the toolbar and off. So those are the only 2 that are left, and the reason I'm leaving those out is because I still want to put one more on that's external, maybe 2, one on each side. So I haven't done that because I don't know where it's going to go. Haven't built that portion of the ship yet, so all right. So landing gear. This is mid. This one happens to be forward. And then don't have the 2 in the back. I want to do 2. All right. So what I was thinking here is that I might actually put a battery laid down, which is to say sideways here, maybe even 2. At this point, it's just a matter of figuring out what we're doing here. I have some space. Okay, so that's already being brought out here. And then I'm going to go ahead and leave that one to bring it out for mostly redundancy. There we go. So the question at this point is, what am I going to do in terms of weaponry out here? I want to put another bank of weapons. The other thing I want to do here, in fact, let me go ahead and do that. Let me turn the batteries off. So batteries HUD off. We have Mark 1 batteries forward, and I'm going to turn the HUD on because I actually want to, I actually want to figure out what these weapons are. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are the upper battery. So the idea is that when these goes, these take actually a long time to reload, and probably 15 seconds to reload. Now 15 seconds doesn't sound like it's very long, but in battle 15 seconds is an eternity. So the idea is that if I stagger these, then one goes off, then I bring the next ones online, then I bring the next ones online, and then I go back to the first. So basically you'd now have every 5 seconds you could fire. So rather than having them all go off at once, and that's the matter of staggering everything. So in this case, I really want to have groups, so 3 different groups of weapons firing, which in the end is actually going to be 5 different groups, because I'm going to have a port side wing and a starboard side wing of these same weapons. And I don't know how many I'm going to have. I was thinking 6 and 6, but I don't know. The other thing was, do I do 3, 2, 1, which would still be 6, or do I do 3 and 3? And I really have no idea how I want to do that. So the idea here is in figuring out, so 11, 12, 13, 14, and 10, it looks like. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, wow, okay. So ideally would be to, if I go total naval standard here, then all the odds are to port side, with number 1 being the center line. So it would actually be going left on the screen here would be 1, 3, and 5, and then 2 and 4. So 2 and 4, so 3 equals 5, 1 is equal to 3, and 5 is equal to 1. If I were to really get organized here, and you know what, I think I'm gonna get organized, and then it's which row. So 5 equals 1. 1 equals 3, and 3 equals 5. So so my top is then going to be row A. The next one down here is well, do I go all the way to the bottom, or do I shift here, or do I make it really simple A, B, C, D? All right, let me kind of curious as to what these are. Clearly a marker block of some kind. I have no idea what those are. All right, so 16 is this outer one. To kind of pay attention. 9, 7, 6, 8, and 15. And then this, the bottom row here is 10, 12, 14, 13, and 11. Alright, so the other thing I would kind of like to do, and I don't know if it's entirely possible, is to put a maybe we'll sacrifice this one here. Well, somewhere I can't tell what that is. Oh, did I went sideways from here. Alright, so in this case I want that, and then we'll put another on there. There are actually, and this is an add-in, this is part of the conveyor extensions mod. Okay, I think I'm done with the Gatling turret. So, Killer Corporation. So this is a small ship connector, and the reason I like the small ship connectors is it actually gives you a connection point. So in my case, I'd really like a connection point out here in the front that you could get to and work with. Yeah, so that is just, yeah, and the camera and the landing gear is on the bottom. So ideally it would have been to have that on the bottom, but in this case I can't do that because of where the landing gear and the camera is. So we're going to leave this where it is. So you can see this does connect into the world. This is actually forward upper, and that's not to say that there's a lower, so we could just leave it as yeah, let's, because looking at a description doesn't really make any sense. You know it's forward. Okay, the whole forward half of the ship is forward. So where is it in relation to anything? So we'll go ahead and call that forward upper, which will then hopefully clue people into, you know, if people actually look at this later on and say, oh, well, that's where that is. Now the downside of everything up here is this is all small conveyors. So there's a lot of parts and pieces and such that do not go through small conveyors. So all of your ingots and all of your ore will go through a small, but there's a lot of components that won't. Missiles, for example, will not go through. All right. I'm guessing, well, we're not out of hydrogen, so I don't know why all of the thrusters are not working here. All right, so continuing on, one of the other advantages of having this up here is now it gives me a control access point. Okay, so Mark 1 batteries, we're going to turn those back on because I want to rename all of these guys. So 5 becomes 1. So we're going to call this group A, and 1 is the center line. Or is 1 the center line? No, 3 was the center line. So 5. Oh yeah, 5 is the center line. 1 is 3. So this is group A. And maybe we'll do. We could actually do A3 and A1 because these are all single digits. And 3 comes 5. 2 remains 2. And 4 remains 4. All right, then the question is, do I relabel the second row numerically, or do I go onto the bottom row? And I'm really not sure what I want to do there. I don't know that it really matters. So so in this case, 15 is actually group B5. So we're using the standard naval numbering. So from the center line out on either side. So starboard side is the odd numbers, port side is even numbers. So we're using that convention. Number 15 in this case was all the way out. So 8 was the next one to the starboard. So this is group B, which is then 3. And 6 was the next one. So group B1. So we have 1, 3, and 5. And then number 7 was 2. Group B2. 9 would then be 4. Group B4. And then 16 is B6. All right, and then we should have these 5 remaining, which were the bottom ones, which is indeed the case. So 14 is now our center line. So 14 is our center line, which is group C, attack 1. Let me just go ahead and do a copy there. 12 is number 3. And 10 is number 5. 13 is 2. And 11 11 is 4. Okay, so all of these should be renumbered, so let's go ahead and have a look. So if we look at all the top ones here, that is all row A. So from the center line going out is 135 to starboard and 24 to port. If we go down one, it's kind of hard to see the B's, but tilt just a little more. There's 135 going over to the starboard, and then we can see 2, 4, a little hard to see 6, 2, 4, and 6 to the port. And then if we look at the entire group of C, I'm pointing basically at C1, which is the center line. So going to starboard, 1, 3, 5, and 2 and 4 to port. So right now all of those are labeled as they should be. And then we can, there's two different things we're going to do. So right now everything, all the forward batteries are marked forward. And it's really whether we want to keep this forward batteries as it is, or whether we want everything grouped independently. And at this point I think everything grouped independently. So I know what the forwards are. So really it's A, and A, which are my top. So this is Mark 1, batteries, Group A. And save. Inventory obviously is on, but we will turn that off in the toolbar. So B is 1 through 6, so we can see here all 6 even though they're out of order. And this is called Group B. And inventory is on, terminal is off. And then finally forward group C, which is that lower section. So the idea here is I can turn each on and off, so when you push the fire button, it doesn't fire all of them. Now there is a script out there that staggers, and I'm not sure exactly how to use that, but I've seen it used, and sometimes it does weird and wonky things. So I don't know if it's consistent in how it works, but I will look up that script. I have a spare programming block, so we could technically use that. Okay, so we have the 3 groups there. We have more shield generators here. So let's go ahead and, okay, just to verify, more shield generators here, which we're going to go ahead and put into the shields group. Then off, off, and off. All right. So Shift F5 to do a quick save, then we'll back off. Actually, let's turn those off on the HUD. So group, whoa, reactors off, and HUD off. Alright, so nothing on the HUD forward or aft. We've got the one antenna there in the center. The only thing I don't know is what's going on here with hydrogen status is at 100%, but I do not have any Thrusters on. So thrusters off. So I have thrusters hydrogen spine. So I want to rename this one as hydrogen amidships, so that one is a delete. Alright. More OCD for you. Okay. So I want to take this kind of stair-stepped approach here and slope. So corner. Oops, wrong way. So the question is, how far do we carry this forward? And what do we put where for everything to keep going? So I brought that one out, but it disappeared. I think it was right there. Where is it? Right there. So oops. Tip. Alright, so where is... right there. Got a little too zealous in my playing around here. So the problem is I can't get to this one easily. So protection wise, the other option here, do I want the sleek lines or a little more aggressive lines, which is to say I think we'll stick with this one and this one. Not perfect, but it does go almost out to the tip of the weapons there, so the other side is that I go from the gradual slope to the 45, so from the 33 slope to the 45, then back to the 33. Would I be better off staying with the 33 the whole way? And I think I would. So yeah, so I do still need to kind of stick with, could have left that one there. The slope changes, but oh well. Either that or I just carry it on forward and figure out how to do that one. That one's going to be a little bit of a challenge. This does introduce a unique opportunity here. Not ideal. But something. So here then is the question of what do I do here? I'm almost inclined to there's no easy way to do this particular one, but I could actually put that, and then I'm not sure what to do here. There's no easy anything to do there. The only other option here is to go like this and actually change this one out to a slope. Which looks really silly. Not a whole lot to do there, I don't think. But we do now have the ability to bring... Nope, not gonna do that. I think I'm gonna keep that like that. Pull this. So this then is going to become this, and oops. And the real question is what to do here, because we're at a half. I guess we do that. The only other option is That actually, that turned out quite a bit better than I had anticipated. Alright, so we'll go back to we can, because we'll go down here. Okay, so this is a test weapon here because I don't know where everything will be. My ideal would be, do I want it extended forward? It does kind of look neat. Extended forward here. Or do I have it even with the bell? Alright, so my thoughts here are that they would be even with the bell. Alright, so let me get a little creative here. And oh, weird. Oh, darn it. Alright, we'll leave. So this is just experimental here. I don't know that I'm actually going to keep this in the same way, in the same okay, I can't actually do that because that's in the way of the hydrogen thruster. So let's adjust slightly here. Oh, darn it. Right. So that one goes there, that one then goes there, and then this one would go there. Which then follows a slope, which is which is what I wanted. The other option is to move that one forward, and then I would have the one even, one in front, and one two in front. Ugh! This is so fucking frustrating that I can't delete what I'm aiming at. And I have no idea what deleted where. Fucking game. So I really just need to delete a lot of things under here and figure out what the fuck deleted. Looks like just those pieces underneath. Alright, so back to redesign here. So this one goes away, this one goes away, and this one. So alright. So I gotta check my, so that's the bottom port. So that one connects in there. This becomes a junction here, and then this. Right. Not bad. I don't mind that particular centerpiece. All right. So the question is, do we slope up as we're doing this here? And what I mean by that, so we slope up and go backwards at the same time, which means this weapon goes here, this weapon goes here, and then that. So then we have a swept back and swept up at the same time. And so then from the profile perspective, here is that, which I think is pretty good. So it's still 6 port and starboard, and in this case, because we're going to run out of, this one is actually just kind of hanging out here. And let me show you what I mean by that. So 3, which becomes this, and then it ends there. The other question is, do we swing that one? Do we go ahead and take this one off and continue the sweep down, and then put one more weapon here? So is it a 6 and Is it a 3 and a 3, or is it a swept up with the sacrifice of this guy just hanging out here in the middle of nowhere on the edge? Let's continue building as it is and see what it happens. One of the things I'm going to do here is I'm going to continue the black line forward. So let me go ahead and the challenge is you can't get in there. All right. This one is and then this one is the singular sweep here. Carry the black, and I think we'll come all the way out to there. We finish this up here. Going to see so this is black. And this then comes to the end. It's not too bad, I don't think. So rather than doing okay, I'm having trouble. There we go. Alright, so that one, that one, that one. Yes. Thinking about that, but that's really not going to fit in here. So I think we just have curious, I can... Go to the bottom here. Okay, I just looked at my time. I'm over an hour again. I know that's not a big surprise. So this is Kenty Tiger signing off. Thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you next time.